Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to season number 5 here in the Nashville Stars franchise. The World Series champs are coming off of an immaculate year where we surprised the entire league. In our first playoff appearance, we end up winning it all. And now we look to build the dynasty with a couple of key pieces we are now adding to our MLB roster. That includes one of our top 5 prospects in our organization in Enrique Bradfield Jr. He was a pivotal part of our playoff roster, but now he makes opening day for the first time in his career. Elgato was a guy we moved up halfway through last year through the September call-ups, but he was not eligible for the playoffs. But then we move up Brian Lacker, who is going to be a catcher we've been developing. And then Jimmy Sandoval comes into this year healthy. He will get his first opening day start at second base. We will take on the Boston Red Sox, who finished dead last in the division last year. They signed Dylan Cease to hopefully take the place of Chris Sale as their ace. They did end up signing Sale in free agency to a 1-year, $7 million deal, but he is not even on the opening day roster. They really have to build around their young star at shortstop in Marcelo Mayer. He won Minor Leaguer of the Year in Season 1. He's now at 90 overall at 23 years old. They still have Trevor Story and Alexander Bogaerts. If this team was smart, they would probably trade both of them because I think the rebuild is real for them, and I think that it's going to quickly rear its head because they have nobody else that is young and talented, much like Marcelo Mayer is. So here we go. Dylan Cease on the White Sox for the entirety of his career so far. He starts for the first time here in Boston as he faces Enrique Bradfield Jr. to lead it off. He gets an outside pitch, and that one is strike 3. So the first batter that Cease faces here as a Red Sox will be a strikeout. Gary Doss to the plate now. Former AL Rookie of the Year. He does draw a walk, bringing up the World Series MVP, Rafael Devers. He gets one low and hits this one well to left field, but it does get hung up in the air. Will be at the warning track in short left field. Dom Thompson Williams at the plate, looking to capitalize off of an extraordinary couple of years he's had as the starting right fielder, but he does swing at one out of the zone, and he gets fooled on that one, chasing the fastball. Troy Quincy on the mound, 33 starts, a brand new 4-year, about $80 million contract for him, as he was the second overall pick in this entire series, starting for his third opening day. The first batter of the game will ground out to third base. That is Marcelo Mayer, as it brings up Harold Ramirez to the plate now. Ground ball up the middle, right to Quincy. Easy, 2 up, 2 down. See if we can get through the first 3. Alexander Bogaerts, who is likely going to be on the trade block for a lot of this year. Ground ball to third, a 1-2-3 inning here for Troy Quincy. On to the top of the second inning. This is Taylor Trammell at the plate, and he goes to opposite field for the first hit of the ball game. That one gets down the left field line away from the shift, and it will be a 1-out double here for Taylor Trammell. 34 home runs all of last year. He was in that DH spot for a lot of the year and played a little bit of left field also. That brings up Ramon Elgato with 1 out. He is an excellent base hitter. Like, he gets on base better than a lot of guys that I've seen here in the organization coming up. He does fly out to right field, but at least advances Trammell to third. Brian Lacker at the plate. He gets an off-speed pitch, but just a little bit behind that slider over the middle of the plate, and it's just going to be a ground ball to first base. On to the bottom of the third inning now. Troy Quincy in a little bit of trouble. Runners on the corners for Marcelo Mayer. He goes up the middle, and that one will break the 0-0 game, and Boston takes the 1-run lead here in the bottom of the third. Harold Ramirez now. He swings at one way out of the zone. That one somehow sneaks through the infield. Harold Ramirez, that's like a Vladimir Guerrero Sr. swing on that one. And he barely gets enough bat on that, and it's a single. Xander Bogaerts to the plate now. 1 out, bases loaded, ground ball to second. But this one will be 2. It's a double play. It will end the 3rd inning, and Boston only gets 1 run across the plate. On to the top of the 4th inning. This is Dom Thompson Williams to the plate, and he goes up the middle. That one sneaks through the infield for a 1-out single. Willy Adames hit leadoff for a lot of the year last year, so he moves down to that 5 spot as Enrique Bradfield gets moved up. I think Bradfield's going to be an excellent leadoff hitter because he's going to just score a lot of runs. We will obviously miss the leadoff home runs that Adames used to have, but right away, Boston gets through the first few innings, and it does not allow any runs. On to the bottom of the 5th inning now. Guys on 2nd and 3rd. A base hit to right field, but Dom Thompson Williams nails a runner at the plate. How many times have we seen this from DTW? I mean, he is my favorite, one of my favorite players I've ever had in the show, because I love guys who just surprise you. Mid-70s overall, but end up being like one of the best guys. So on to the top of the 7th inning. This is Taylor Trammell back at the plate now, facing Yimi Garcia into relief Cease, and he goes opposite field, deep to left center. That one makes it over the green monster and left. It's a home run. Our first run of the season is a solo shot from Taylor Trammell. And remember, when we traded for Trammell, we really did not know what he was going to be. I obviously scouted him because of his power, but he has shown that he is really coming around now. Nathan Krachek out of the pen. This is the first time we are seeing him in this series. Krachek. I don't know why I said Krachek. Krachek out of the bullpen. This is the first time we're seeing him, and he is a lefty. Watch out for him in this series going forward. He's an excellent bullpen guy. After losing Jose Ruiz, we definitely need some guys who can definitely step up, and I think Krachek is going to be one of those guys. On to the 9th inning. It's still a 2-1 game as Rafael Devers comes up to the plate. He grounds out to the right side of the infield as that brings up Dom Thompson Williams to the plate now. 1 for 3 today. Can he make it 2 for 4? Outside pitch. This one will be hit well, and it will get down in left field. And Dom Thompson Williams rounds first pretty hard, but will cap off a 2 for 4 day with a single to left field. As now that brings up Willy Adames in that 5 spot. 0 for 3 today. Low pitch in the zone, and that one will be ball 4. So runners on first and second here with Trammell, who went deep earlier. He is 2 for 3 today. A 2-2 pitch. Outside knuckle curve. Strike 3. That was right on the corner. It could have went either way. We had to swing at that one. Too close to take. Ramon Elgato up. 3-2 count here. 2 outs. Runners are on the move. And that's going to be strike 3. A fastball up in the zone will get him to swing and miss. And Boston wins opening day here in Boston. It's going to be just a 2-1 game as Boston gets a nice victory here to open the season. And they are hoping to bounce back from a pretty terrible year a year ago. So we move on to game 2, and it looks like Boston takes that game as well, 9-3. 11 hits to just our 10. But I do want to highlight something here now. In the beginning of the season, when everybody starts to move down their players from the spring training roster, a lot of guys are on the waiver wire. We decide to go after Jacob Amaya from the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, and this was more of a claim to kind of take a player away from the Dodgers and hopefully, get rid of that depth a little bit. And maybe I'm doing a little down the road type of move here, taking away a pretty good prospect of theirs. So we now have Jacob Amaya in our infield. He will be a bench guy, but today in game number 3, we will take a look at number 5 prospect in the organization, Bradley McDougald. Now, Bradley McDougald is a B potential prospect, 22 years old. He will start this year at the MLB level. We acquired him via trade from the Minnesota Twins. He was drafted back in season number 2. He is 22 years old. I think he's ready for the show. So he will be our number 3 in our rotation, at least for the foreseeable future. So he faces Boston again now in game number 3, looking to avoid the sweep today as he gets the first batter of the game to fly out to Willy Adames. Marcelo Mayer at the plate, curveball over the middle. This one will be a weak fly ball to left field for the second out of the game. McDougal looking to make it 1-2-3 as that brings up Bogarts to the plate. And he will get him to swing and miss at a low pitch in the dirt. It will be strike 3. And Bradley McDougal looks good early on. And this is one thing that I do need. I need a number 3 guy who is reliable deep in the season. Bradley McDougal looks good so far. Through 4, he gets a strikeout right there, not allowing any runs. But one thing I like about him is that he's got excellent control as well. So we'll see if he can keep that up. On to the top of the 5th inning, Willie Adames with a man on second base, chopper to first base. And that one will be fielded cleanly as Enrique Bradfield on second. He's going to score on pretty much any base hit to the outfield when he's on second base, and that's one thing I love about him. Kerry Doss to the plate now. He hits one to short with 2 outs, though. Will just be another ground ball, and Nashville is struggling to score here in this first series, as you can see. As that brings up DTW here in the top of the 6th inning. Man on first base. He goes to center field. That one will drop down, and DTW will make it all the way to second. So now we have men on second and third. No outs here to start the 6th inning. Devers on third. DTW on second. This is going to bring up Colin Ozuna. Chopper to third. And it looks like Trevor Story could have had a play at home, but instead goes to first. And it's now a tie ball game at 1 apiece. Well, our good lineup here coming into this season is going to force somebody coming out of the bullpen. It's going to be Brian Mata. He's going to face Kurt Zambrano, taking over for Jorge Alfaro, who signed a 2-year deal with the Colorado Rockies, and that one will be strike 3. Kerry Doss comes to the plate now with a man on third base, and he swings and misses as well. So, 2 strikeouts here for Mata out of the pen. And he faces Rafael Devers now in the 7th inning. And he decides to intentionally walk Devers, getting to Dom Thompson-Williams. I don't know if that's smart, to be honest, because Dom Thompson-Williams, such a good hitter, such a clutch hitter. He gets one high in the zone and hits one well to right center. That one will get to the outfield. We will send Devers all the way from first. The throw into the cutoff man will be in time, but a better slide by Devers. And that one scores 2 runs. Dom Thompson-Williams comes through with a 2-run RBI double. And now it is 4-1 here in the 7th inning. That one will bring up Ramon Elgato to the plate. He hits a little slow roller to short, and a good throw by Mayer will get him at first. A 6-2 ball game now on to the 9th inning. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will hit a chopper to third base, and the force out will be there at second. And we do get the win in Bradley McDougal's debut here with the Nashville Stars. A nice 6-2 victory. 10 hits for the Stars today. We avoid the sweep. Dom Thompson-Williams comes up clutch. And we start out at least the month of April with a 2-3 record. We do end up beating Toronto in the next series, 2 out of 3. We then go to Houston and win 2 out of 3 as well. And it looks like this victory, 13-7, featured a 2-5, 2-for-5 day for KFC Kendrick Franklin Cole, who is going to get some at-bats this year at the MLB level. Hopefully he turns a corner. We then play the Tampa Bay Rays, and we end up beating them 3 out of 4 games. And in this game, it was 13-5, 20 hits to their 8. Look at the day from Kerry Doss. He went 5 for 6 as well. So now we make it to this next game versus the Seattle Mariners. This is a big team that I like to face in this series, mainly because I've been a very big trade partner with Seattle. We've acquired Taylor Trammell. We've acquired Dom Thompson-Williams. Both of those guys are big acquisitions and big-time outfielders for us. And I wanted to acquire Kyle Lewis, but he was just way too expensive in free agency. He was a free agent. He ended up signing with the Chicago Cubs. And now we face them at home for the debut of Damian Houston on the mound. This has been a guy we've been developing in our organization also. So this is kind of the episode of season number 5 and the episode of debuts. Damian Houston is a guy where the ball just snaps out of his hand. The circle change gets the swing and miss right there. in the dirt pretty much, bringing up the minor league player of the year 2 seasons ago, Edwin Gillette. He hits one well up the middle. That one will be a single. And the Seattle Mariners have decided to commit to the outfield of Jared Kelenic, Edwin Gillette, and also Julio Rodriguez. So they move on from DTW, Taylor Trammell, and also Kyle Lewis. But the next batter will ground out too short, and that one will get us out of the first inning. Damian Houston plays with a 1-run lead here in the second. This is going to be another ground ball to short, and another double play here for Damian Houston. At least not a double play, another double play, but a double play as it brings up Abraham Toro with 2 outs. This is a deep fly ball to left field. Will it get over the head of Jacob McCarthy playing in left field? And it will. It's a ground rule double that time for Toro's 3rd of the season. Bringing up Gonzalez to the plate. And it's just going to be a fly ball to Trammell playing in right field today, giving Dom Thompson-Williams a day off versus his former team. On to the top of the 5th inning. Houston again. Men on first and second. Ground ball to short. And it will be the 3rd out of the inning. Jacob McCarthy comes up in the bottom of the 6th inning now. This is going to be Enrique Bradfield on first. We're going to send him on this play. And this is a hard hit ball past the second baseman. And it gets all the way to the wall on the ground. A hard hit ball by McCarthy will score Enrique from first. And it's now a 2-1 lead here at home versus Seattle. Bringing up Rafael Devers, who goes to opposite field. This is crushed into the stands in left. And a 2-run home run for the World Series MVP. And it makes it 4-1 today. Seattle is down here now in the 9th inning, 5-2. It brings up Julio Rodriguez facing Pablo Moya, the surprise of last year, an all-star as well. And he gets the swinging strike. And Nashville wins this game 5-2. A big-time victory at home versus a team that we are actually kind of companions with because we have been trade partners with them like I highlighted earlier. But we get the victory here as that win improves us to 9-5. We move through the month of April a little bit. We end up beating Seattle 2 out of 3 in that series. We end up beating New York next 2 out of 3. And then we drop 2 of 3 to the Angels. So now we end up at April 20th, about 22 games into the season at 13-9. And we are entering a 3-game set versus the Yankees, which is where we will leave off this episode. I really do want to focus on this 3-game set next episode versus the Yankees. Then we will get through the month of May. And I'm thinking that, we'll probably have 5 regular season episodes for each season going forward. Then if we make the playoffs, we will hop into it. If we don't, we'll just hop into the offseason right away. I'm thinking 5 is the sweet spot. I think I've hit kind of a pretty good groove with this series, so I'm excited about that. I do want to see more at-bats out of guys like Kendrick Franklin, Cole. I will kind of hone in on him. And also Jacob McCarthy. I think those 2 guys are starting to hit the ball well, and they're starting to go into their prime. So we're definitely going to need to see some things out of them if they want a future contract with the team. So like I said, next episode, we will focus on this Yankee series. We are at home, and we will get to see Bradley McDougald pitch again. He is 3-0 with a 1.84 ERA so far. Can he go for 4-0 next episode? Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Let me know what you guys think about this team and the outlook of this series. In next episode, I will also be collecting some of your submissions here for prospects, so you don't want to miss that episode. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.